Bobby Middleman. And of course, if you're from Beaver County, you know 7th Avenue. And you know if the shoe fits, you like that?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh,
It's Enelow Shoes. The reason I'm here, Hail Pitt, before I get into all these games, what's it going to take for me to actually be involved in cheering my Panthers on this time of year in the college football playoffs?
Top-notch quarterback that throws about 40 touchdown passes a year, and a running back that runs 1,500, 1,600 yards for you, and a top-notch defense that makes you turn the ball over.
We'll talk a little bit more about Pitt in just a little bit, but I'm headed to Wexford, Leon's Billiards and more to do the wild card weekend. And tonight we'll be at the Vault talking Potter basketball with Cade Reynolds. So it's a busy day, and thanks to the folks, got to take care of everyone at McElwain Motors in Elwood, because that Chevy Equinox, man, it just keeps rolling. So Nick Mancini, wherever you are, thank you for helping me go even in the snow.
What a great guy.
He is.
Yes.
He called my show the other night. I was all pumped up. All right, so Penn State, Notre Dame, Orange Bowl coming up tonight. Irish favored by 2.5, depending on where you are going to be placing that legal sportsbook bet. We always choose betrivers.net, Rivers Casino. Big win, Sugar Bowl, January 2nd against Georgia. Riley Leonard, I'm starting to buy in on this guy. Why? Not just because he can throw the football, but he had 80 yards rushing in that game. He's been in that portal a little bit, but man, he's really turning out to be a pretty good quarterback.
What do you think against the Penn State defense, though? Penn State's got an awful good defense.
They do.
It kills me to have to
say that.
It really kills me to say that, but I'm picking Penn State to win tonight, too, over Notre Dame. Everybody else is picking Notre Dame. I think the quarterback for Penn State's going to surprise them.
Isn't it ironic? Marcus Freeman's name pops up in the Chicago Bears opening, and then the day after, he ends up getting the contract extension with Notre Dame. They know a good coach.
The agent does that. They know what to do.
Speaking of the Bears, have you been hearing this story circulating about maybe trading Coach Tomlin to the Bears? I mean, why would he want to leave Pittsburgh? He's not going to leave Pittsburgh.
I don't think so. I can't believe how much crap he takes all the time.
Oh, he's a great coach.
And he deserves some of what he takes, because he's stubborn, but so was Chuck Noll and so was Cowher.
You know,
I can remember going back to the Noll days when he didn't want to sign a long snapper, and they cost him a game against Seattle at the end of the year.
Should have did it. Yeah, the late, great, the legendary Chuck Noll.
The best.
All right, Drew Aller. Completion rate is like 67% for the year. He doesn't do anything fantastic, but just win.
Right. I think he's just going to have to get rid of the ball fast, because, you have a fantastic defense with Notre Dame, although they got a couple of guys out. They do have a couple of defensive players out, so that could hurt them.
Speaking of being out, we'll talk about this later. Zay Flowers, the exceptional wide receiver for Baltimore, will not be playing.
I saw him get hurt there right at the end of the game there.
This weekend.
That's bad for them, but great for the Steelers.
Steelers still 9.5-point underdogs. Okay.
That's an awful lot.
It is. Abdul Carter, he's that edge rusher for Penn State.
For Penn State. Is he out?
Shoulder injury, but they said he's going to be ready to go.
That's the whole thing. If he can play and he's effective, that's one reason I think Penn State's going to beat Notre Dame.
And Notre Dame's got their defensive lineman, Howard Cross, back, which is good news for them after that leg injury against Georgia. All right, so you like Penn State?
Reluctantly, as much as I hate to say it, I'm picking Penn State tonight.
Listen, you realize why we lose so many players to Penn State. It's because you got Terry White up there now, former Gateway
also
guy.
Bob Palko.
Bob Palko. They should, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. When Pitt had the opportunity long time ago, they should have hired Tom Bradley. He wanted the job. They should have hired him.
I just think the only reason he didn't get it was because of the scandal that had gone up there, and they thought he was toxic. I thought way before then they should have hired Tom Bradley. I thought he might have been a good head coach, candidate back before.
He's the best recruiter that college football has ever seen in this area.
Ever had.
Yeah, and in the tri-state, in my opinion, nobody's ever done it better. All right, let's talk Ohio State and Texas. Jeremiah Smith, this guy, when he was 7 years old, just a little kid in Florida, he was told by a Pop Warner midget coach, "You're not going to make the team, you'll never make it." He took that fuel and it bubbled and it burned in his soul to where now, 10 years removed, he's one of the greatest freshman receivers in the history of college football.
I watched them pretty regularly this year, Ohio State, and unless they just have a disastrous day, they're not going to lose. I think they're going to roll.
And I think losing to Michigan actually was a good thing for them.
I still don't understand how it happened.
Believe me, don't think for a moment that Coach Day's not thinking about it either.
Well, you know what? I can't believe it. This guy he wins every year, and he's going to lose to Michigan, and they're going to fire him because of that.
You can't do that.
But but people do that.
John Cooper was there for how many years, and he lost to Michigan every year. All right, so the Buckeyes are favored by 6, Cotton Bowl. Howard versus Quinn, meaning Ewers and Will Howard. Ewers is good. He's great.
He is.
But when you got a receiver like Smith, anything's possible.
He's the best I've seen all year. He's phenomenal.
They went from Marvin Harrison Jr. to this guy. And they've got this.
Might be better already.
And this Ubuga, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Emeka Ubuga. He's also, along with Smith, they've combined for 2,120 yards on 24 touchdown catches, too. I mean, those stats are like off the charts.
Yeah, they are. That's why they're where they are.
So you think it's going to be, when it's all said and done, Ohio State wins the national championship?
Yes.
Okay, I can live with that. I got no problems with them. Even when they beat us 72-0, I felt really bad for us. What do you think about Notre Dame not having to be in a conference? There was some talk about that because, there's $14 million on the line, and these other teams have to share it with the rest of the conference, but Notre Dame doesn't have to share it with anyone.
It's never going to change.
No, because they're Notre Dame.
They've been talking about that for 40 years.
Absolutely. Let's shift gears a little bit because you have all sorts of great gear here. Anything you need, this guy can get it done. He can put it on a T-shirt, can put it on a sweatshirt, all the names of the shoes that you love. This guy has got the kicks, as we used to say back in the day. So come and visit him. And you need that warm weather gear. It's freezing. This should be the place that you come. Support local. He is local, and he is part of the fabric of Beaver County. He's Mr. Middleman. Let's talk some baseball.
Thank you, Rob.
You are. You got a new hairdo, too?
I did. I got a haircut yesterday.
Who cut your hair?
Sophie. She's been cutting my hair for 40 years.
Where's she?
She's up in Chippewa.
Oh, nice.
Next to the plaza where, what was it, Al's Pizza?
Yeah. Used to be.
The little plaza next
door.
Yeah.
I know exactly where it's at. All right, so, by the way, was that a stop and go that was in this town at one time? The little convenience store down? Yeah.
On the corner here.
Yeah, okay, I thought it was.
It was one of the 23 gas stations we had in town before then. I think it was a mobile station. I can't remember.
Listen, I know Beaver Falls has been in the news of late, and it's not a good story. It was a tragic story about a murder. But let me tell you something. This is a great community. The local government here, the merchants, they're doing everything to continue to move in the positive direction. You've got Geneva College here, and you got a business like this here that you're going to save, as I like to say, pennies on the dollar. You're going to get all the stuff that you're going to get at the big box store, half the price. And if you want to work a deal, he'll work a deal. How many years has this place been here now?
This will be 71 years this year.
Listen, you got to buy. You got to support local. Let's talk baseball. I'm going to be at Pirate Fest. Really looking forward to that. January 19th.
You have any pointed questions to ask Mr. Nutting?
I like Bob Nutting, but I want to talk about the players on the team. But we're going to be there, Pirate Fest. Greg Diolis and I, Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show, and I'm the Pirates' biggest cheerleader. Give me some optimism. And I look at O'Neal Cruz, and I see Paul Skeens, and I think if he's healthy, he could be in the running for the Cy Young. They got to figure out the catching position. I also think the bullpen, you got to take a closer look at that. But when you look at position players, Brian Hayes has got to get better. Brian Reynolds, I think, is proving that he was worth a contract of over $100 million. And in the end, because of his youth, I think that's going to be a really good bargain for the Pirates. But when you look at the division they're in, I don't really see all that much competition that's better. The only thing that's made it tougher is that Terry Francona now is coaching Cincinnati.
It was so close. It was so close last year. All they had to do was get a couple of hitters to go with the pitching that they had, and they could have won the division. They have pitching coming out of the wazoo. They got all these young kids coming up, and you could, before the year's up, maybe a couple of them will be starters. And if he would let his pitchers go 7 innings and not 6, that bullpen wouldn't be worn out like it was. You know, Holderman was pitching great. He got hurt. They brushed him back, and then he had a bad streak there because he had to pitch too much. The same thing with Bednar. He was hurt. He came back. He got hurt again, and then it was a disaster after that.
We're at Enelow Shoes, your Pratt Pack, off to Leon's Billiards and more, much more still to come. Stay with us right here. Have a great day, everybody.